back in either by force or by stalking.
Yes.
What else would you say to the public, or to say to any justice official that's trying to uphold the law, that has nothing to do with this case, just heard your story? What would you say to them that's wanting to be an attorney or a lawyer or a judge and do the right thing for men and women of domestic violence?
Always do the right thing.
I'd say very much so.
Be true.
That's really good advice. And if you're going through this in your life, being 20 years later and a beautiful woman, what did you like about getting this off your chest, so to speak? What do you want to see from this interview?
Millions of people to see and read my story, and the story of how he got away with it for so long. Not only with me being wife number 5, but with children, his own children he abused. He took a newborn baby and held it out by its feet and threatened to drop it if the mother didn't pull over so he could beat her up. His own daughter.
And what message would you have to say to these kids that you didn't know at all, except for the one?
I put the first wife's children in touch with the last wife's children.
And have they got a relationship with one another now?
Yes, they do now.
Okay. But before they did not?
No, they never knew the others existed. But they always, once they found my book and found me, they reached out to me because they thought that I had children.
And were your exchanges of communication pleasant and nice?
Yes.
And you are friends with
Yes.
That's
His child that was 4 when I got shot is a man. He's a man with his own family. He's in the Army.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, I think he lives in Texas. They all still reach out to me.
And they reach out to one another as well.
Yes.
And they include you. They don't exclude you like their father, correct?
Right.
That's terrific. And since then, do you think laws need to be changed?
Yes. In fact, there's a new one called Marcy's Law.
And what is that law? State.
That one, I believe, is where she was a victim and the perpetrator got out of prison, stalked her, found her, and killed her. So now they have a law called Marcy's Law that's on the voters' ballot, so that witnesses need to be notified when someone who hurt them or harmed them gets out.
Okay. And you think that would benefit victims?
Yes, because I sure don't want to open the door one day and see Gary standing there, because he's already vowed that if he ever gets out, he's going to finish the job he didn't do, which is killing me.
Okay. And with that response, what would you want to see in the beautiful 50 states of the United States, if not around the world, happen with this? Is a very sensitive topic, and I'm going to say this candidly to you. What are you understanding about Preble County's pedophilia problem with probation officers, judges, lawyers, and the police? Have you heard anything about them having pedophilia problems?
Yes, I have. Just through the grapevine, small town whispers.
And have they been, and so it's fair to say it's been confirmed?
Yes.
And what is your knowledge about some of these officials, or how do you personally feel about these public officials sleeping with underage children.
It's disgusting.
And some of them being judges, being part of the justice system, do you think they need to be rounded up and locked away and throw away the key for this?
Yes, I do.
And you think they have a mental malfunction for doing this to innocent children?
Yes, but some things that are broken can't be fixed, so
Lots of therapy for these children.
the children, yes, but the people that are doing it to the children can't be fixed.
So it's fair to say if you call 911, don't call, because they're really not going to enforce the law.
Right.
Okay.
I wouldn't live out there.
And so, through some of this, would you be fair to say that people need to look below the surface over some of these pedophiles, injustices, do their research so this doesn't happen to another innocent woman or man or child?
Yes.
And how's it been for you going through this through a very extensive amount of time? What answers are you looking for yourself or for other people that are going through domestic violence?
They need to make, needs to be more solutions than answers.
And you think new laws would help that?
Yes.
And the right new people in place that would now, Rome wasn't built in a day, and that's a fair statement, yes?
Right.
But if those people that,
They need to shake up just like Trump did. He's fired, he's fired, he's fired. She's fired. Get rid of them.
and get the professional people that went to this training,
Right.
do you think they need retraining? There you go. Do you think they need to be retrained for certain sensitive matters?
They need to go.
Special units for it?
There needs to be classes every year. They need to do so many hours every year to be retrained and recertified in each separate category.
That's a brilliant point, and that I hope message really gets out to the professional community.
They got 18-year-old girls having babies, burning them and burying them in their backyards. Come on, give me a break.
And what's your opinion about some of what I understood about this heroin? 'Cause it's not an epidemic, it's a pandemic, much more wider, greater scale going on in these local communities. What's your interpretation with that or feeling? Good, bad, indifferent?
But drugs are always going to be a problem.
Right.
There's not much of a solution to the drugs that ain't going to bankrupt the taxpayers.
Okay. And
Legalize it all and create let them quit throwing them in jail for,
so,
they're killing themselves off.
being an educated person and learning through other countries such as Spain and Portugal, where they've decriminalized, say if they use that same methodology or knowledge area to where the crime would not go up and they legalize some of these drugs, because I know our country's different from theirs, and the crime did not go up, it spiked down, not spiking up, so it went in reverse. Do you think if we applied some of that here in America, it would stop it? If not, by legalizing?
Probably some of it, yes.
Yeah, okay. And last but not least,
There's not much of a solution. You can't say drugs is the cause of
it's the
why-
education, we need training.
Right. Because Gary did not do drugs. He did not drink. He was just a total sociopath. He wasn't even a psychopath. He was a sociopath.
What, didn't he deal cocaine at one time? I think in your book.
Was
you
he a
mentioned
drug
that.
dealer at a certain point of their relationship?
Well, I was married to him before. I think he was, because I believe he killed someone at that when he was dealing drugs and living down the street in a cabin down the street from his mother.
And you mentioned in your book that he was high on cocaine and running all over the place, right? Before you got hooked up?
Yes, he dealt cocaine back in the 80s.
And was any of the law enforcement
His
had
dad,
prior knowledge of this?
his father was a deputy sheriff and swept everything under the rug, all of his abusive girlfriends.
And you think that external people that had knowledge of this, that were officials, should be punished
Yes,
and held accountable by the law currently?
yes, they should.
And you think that they should be,
They should all go to prison
so they all
for a
may be-
year and see which ones come out at the end of that year, because I doubt very many of them would come out.
Okay.
But they need to at least go.
Is there anything you would like to include, lastly, on anything I did or did not cover?
Looks like you covered quite a bit.
Okay, then this is your interview, and I say thank you. And
Anything else that you wanted to ask me?
there's one more thing.
Have to.
And they're not, I
They
think
need to
they're
take
manipulating the
somebody
system.
like me and
Right.
make a
Awesome. She's filling the volunteer time in her situation. Wow, that speaks
But yeah,
volumes.
see, I like-
You're amazing.
When I called you the first time, it was random, and you and I talked for a couple hours. I informed you how your cases were
took them
related.
15 years to find me.
Well, we were afraid to because we called the bar.
Well, they were instructed to
We were threatened.
not tell anybody where I was, because I was trying to hide from Gary.
And I reached out and
So
got a
my
hold of
bars
you.
were-
Okay. I'm seeing where certain things
Yeah.
are connecting. That's bringing pieces to the puzzle for me that were missing and that had gaps in these time frames.
So my bartenders were instructed to, I went to Florida to Daytona Beach for 2 weeks.
Well, we're going to put some sand beneath those beautiful toes of yours, and we're going to make sure some
I
of
wish
this.
I could wiggle them in that sand.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't know if you want to. They've had about a couple hurricanes.
Yeah.
But we're working on it, because what this is doing is you're bringing forth your truth. You're bringing forth I feel like you're going to be vindicated, and so will Billy Scott. This to me is something that I personally see things changing for the better.
What would really flip them out is if I married Billy and we rode off with all the money for
Yeah.
the. I don't
States,
think we could spend it all.
No, you're not going to be able to. Like they say, for a person to have $1 billion, they will not be able to spend that in their whole lifetime. You're basically setting up for your kids' kids and all those in
Well,
the
I
future.
could spend it, but
I
not
could too.
on me. I could, but I could find ways to spend it that would benefit.
Well, I will share a nice little joke with you. One of my friends shared with me over my company, which is Royal Motorcycle Seats. That's who I am. And I have a total
We
different...
need to invent stuff for people that with disabilities, like a toilet seat that they can sit on. You know, somebody with a wide glide ass cannot sit on one of them little round toilet seats. I've had some aides where their butt cheek hangs well over one side and then well over the other side.
Anything's possible in this generation.
It's like, how in the world do
I
they
have a
even
patent for it. I make motorcycle seats out of hemp. I mean, hemp and plastic go together on a cellular level, and I'm sure I have a chemist, I have an engineer that I talk to.
I
but
could use
that's a good idea.
nice new cushion.
for your seat. Right. It won't wear out. It'd be
My
fun.
lower back kills me.
Oh, I bet.
so
And
have you had any more complications lately?
yeah, have you had any?
Blood clots and
Is that from the
lack-
injuries
lack
that you
of
received for the
because
bullet,
the right
for the
side,
bullet in the head and
yes.
everything?
Oh, I
And
should
it's just going to get worse from here on out, then, right?
yes.
Okay.
And that's-
Subdural hematoma.
Okay, I'll help you out with this. We got this. One of my guys is a chemist, and my friend's name's Carrie. Has a mining company. These are my engineers, and my other business partner is named